Well, it has arrived. It's the first leg of the Florida Sire Stakes. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Katie Stazak. Special 12-race card today. As you know, if you're not watching this right now, you didn't know about the 12:45 post. That is today. We got 12 races, 7 of those stakes, and we have a $200,000 jackpot guaranteed pool in the Rainbow Six, which starts in race number 7 with a 12-race card. And it is going to be really a fun day. We've got a couple of really competitive races, Katie, in that Rainbow Six sequence.
Absolutely. Some really contentious fields, great stakes caliber horses, and we're going to see a few rising stars today in the Florida Sire Stakes.
Yeah, we got a couple, and there's one horse that, Ballet Diva, that we'll talk about in a little while. That one was not put in the Rainbow Six sequence because that would have been making it a pick 5 because I think that horse won to beat, but that's down the road. Before we get into this Saturday card, let's see what's tweeting around the country. First thing, yesterday, the Hall of Fame inductions.
Yeah, how cool was this? Some very deserving honorees yesterday making it into the Hall of Fame. Here is a picture of the group with their plaques. It includes the family members of Chris Antley, the jockey. You've got King Leatherberry. Apparently he gave quite the induction speech. Yeah,
he did an induction speech at the Preakness this year and everything like that. He's one funny guy. I mean, everybody was just laughing. He's got some great jokes, a little off color, but lots of fun. And of course, Chris Antley, one of the best riders I've ever seen. So congratulations to all the inductees into the Thoroughbred Racing Hall of Fame. And we have a horse that retired, Materiality, that we will remember very fondly here, won the Florida Derby.
Yeah, our Florida Derby winner, not going to make it back to the Gulfstream for the Dawn next year, but we wish him the best in his new career. He's going to be a very nice stallion, gorgeous colt, very accomplished. His Florida Derby win was pretty spectacular, so much so that I know he was your Derby pick this year.
He was my Derby pick this year, that's right. And Materiality, he will be a fine sire. And you know what? It's all about Stanley Gold today. Not only has 16 of these Florida Sire Stakes victories, I believe today is his birthday.
It is his birthday. Happy birthday to Stanley Gold, and hopefully he can take home a few gifted victories on his birthday.
I think that I read the story, that we have on GulfstreamPark.com, and you don't realize it till you see it in print that he's won 16 of these races over the years. That's just an incredible amount.
Yeah, and he swept the Florida Sire Stakes Series, the Colts and Geldings division last year.
That's
he had
right.
2 different runners, but they won all 3 legs, and that was when he broke the record for having the most wins in the series, and looking to add to that today.
Well, we got a lot of ground to cover with this 12-race card, so we're going to get right to it. The first race, 1 mile on the turf, maiden special weight, 2-year-olds, first time 2-year-olds here at Gulfstream are stretching out around 2 turns on the turf, and we both went with the number 8, Bridge of Flowers, who's been keeping some pretty nice company.
He has been, and the winner of his last race was Francesco Blue, who came back to win the Bird on the Wire Stakes here. The 3rd place finisher of that race came back to win a $50,000 maiden claimer. I think this is a horse from the Antonio Sano barn that should really respond to the stretch out today. He was 4th in his career debut, going 5/8.
Well, I found these 2 races we have like this today with 2-year-olds stretching out around 2 turns were impossible to handicap. And I look at the board right now and I see Kenny and I have the top 3. I had number 9, Previous Aversion, in second from the Wesley Ward barn, Daughter of Sweet Return. And we both used number 6, Judge Hudson, on the second.
He's going to make his turf debut today. He was supposed to be on the turf. The race was taken off the grass last time out, and he finished 3rd. The runner-up, Cajun Shield, came back to win in his turf debut next time out.
Well, let's go to race number 2 today. 1 mile. These are claimers, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2 races in life, $6,250. We're going to scratch the inside horse, number 1, Space Meteorite, and I went with the number 5, who you have in 3rd, and I'll start with Ben Jacob. This one's going to try and stretch his speed to the wire after dueling to the furlong marker last time out and fading to finish 4th when dropped to this level in distance last time out. Dave Rakoff, Josie Gomez is the rider. Josie Gomez does an excellent job with horses on the front end, and I'm leaning that this horse might be able to steal this race early on in the card with its speed.
can certainly build off the effort from his last race. I used the 7 just for fun on top. Going to make the turf to dirt move today and stretch back out to a mile for trainer Henry Colazzo. I think he can regain some of his better form when pairing this particular level with this distance. I just look to an effort. 4 starts back, he finished 3rd at this distance against $12,500 climbers.
Yeah, you know, this starts up first with 2 pick 4s on the day, and this is a wide open race. You can look at our selection there. The only one we're sort of in agreement is on the number 5. I used the 2 Tough Sky in 2nd, and I went with number 8 Mighty Warrior in 3rd. Let's get to our first stakes race of the afternoon, and this is 7 furlongs. These are 3-year-old state-bred runners. The Jackson Bend, $75,000. 8 runners going to the post in here, and I went with number 4, Rizwan, but you went with the number 2 horse in here, Catalina Red, at 3-1 on the line.
A little bit of a guessing game. He is coming off a layoff, hasn't run since January when he finished 5th in the Grade 3 Sam F. Davis Stakes up at Tampa Bay Downs. That was his 2-turn debut. Going to cut back to a 1-turn, 7-furlong distance today. 2 starts back. He won 2 straight stakes there, including the Pasco over a horse named XY Jet, who was a game 2nd here in the Grade 3 Hutchinson behind Barbados.
Well, you know, the number 4 horse in here you have in 2nd, Rizwan. If you go back and look at this 2 horses races on the main track, not the greatest of performances, but you know it's one of my favorite angles, you know, showing speed on the grass, going along, turning back to 7 furlongs. I just think this horse classes up. I was trying to go a different way in here, but I just think Rizwan on the class factor, you know, turning back to 7 furlongs on the main track, not its best game, certainly better on the turf. I put that one on top. You used the 2 in 2nd, and then you went with number, you got the 4 in there too, and then the 5 horse, Naval Command. Boy, I find her interesting against the boys today. I think she's primed and ready to offer more. She returned from about a 9-month layoff in there to start the pace, flatten out, ran 6, but that was in the 6 furlong Grade 2 Princess Rooney. She's a daughter of midshipman. She faces the boys, but she's working well.
She is working really well. Tuned up for this start with a bullet 5-furlong move on the 3rd, went 58-3 for trainer Bill Kaplan. I think she's very live in this race.
And if you look at all Bill Kaplan's horses that he's running today, they all worked around the same days, and they all work bullets. So, you know, he's got them all fiery and ready to run best, and I just thought that was a horse that, even though facing the boys, that you had to use on the ticket. And I threw the inside horse in there, bit of a long shot, Color Me Pom Pom, stepping up, stretching out. It was against $12,500 optional claimers going 3/4. Maybe a little bit of an upset in there, but I think we got the right, 2 or 3 on top. I like Katie's pick of Catalina Red, actually 2nd choice on the morning line. We're going to keep the stakes action going to the turf for race number 4. 1 mile and 1/16 on the grass, 3 and up, $75,000. The 8 miles east, the 3rd running, scratch the 1, Starship Zorro, also scratch the main track only. Number 9, Johnny Handsome. I went with the 5, Air Bueno in here, and I'll tell you why, Katie. This one is making his North American Stakes debut after a solid local turf debut going a mile, in which he came within ahead of catching Golden Rifle last time out. I thought it was a really nice performance by this horse, you know, coming in from Latin America. 5-time winner at this distance, 8 starts, 5 wins. Jonathan Gonzalez in the saddle. I like this horse today. Put it right on top of my ticket. You went with the number 4 in here, and that's my point exactly.
Well, you mentioned how sharp the Bill Kaplan horses are going to be with the way they've been working. That includes my point exactly. The question is, he's stepping up to face older horses today, a 3-year-old, but I think he outclasses this field. A horse with so much grit coming into this race off an ultra game win over the aforementioned Rizwan in the Bears Den Stakes. I think he's found his best stride on the grass. He's now a 3-time stakes winner on turf, looking to make it 4 today.
You know, I think the plan is very simple in here for number 2, Joe's Blazing Iron. This horse is going to go to the front, and it would shock no one, including us two, if this horse just went wire to wire and won it. I see other speed in there. That's why I went with the horse that, that I thought might close, and you the same with the 4 horse in here. But if Joe's Blazing Iron can carve out some really, nice fractions, this horse can certainly win it.
He tired after setting the pace last time out. He did win the Grade 3 Palm Beach here back in 2011 at 1 mile and an eighth. Think he might be better going a little shorter now that he's getting older.
And we both threw in the number 3, Zane, who I believe has got an upside today after returning from the freshening to run third. That was in the $70,000 Miesque's approval.
Yeah, and training well over the Palmetto's turf course for Michelle Nihei.
Yeah, so a really nice race there, but you'll know right away when Joe's Blazing Aaron goes wire to wire. Maybe you mark that down and watch the rest of the turf races of the afternoon. We have our first of the 2 Florida Sire Stakes for 2-year-old fillies here, $200,000, and we were talking about this horse a little earlier, and we want to go back and show you Ballet Diva's performance on July 5th.
If you were to ask me who I'm most excited about seeing run today, here's the answer, Ballet Diva. This was last time out in the Cassidy Stakes back on July 5th. She was just much the best. You see the rider look under his shoulder there, and she coasts home. She could have won by a lot more than she did. Gosh, everything just seems so easy for her, and she just might be a very special filly and might be just too fast to catch today.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's an absolute, single on your early pick 4 tickets, at least in my estimation, 3 to 5 on the morning line. But there is other horses in the race. I went with the 1 in there, High End Queen, maybe to get the exacta going to face winners after gliding. It was on the slop last time out to break her maiden by 4 widening lengths. The trainer is Herman Walensky, Tyler Gaffleone, inside post. This horse is going to have its running shoes on to beat number 6 horse in here, Ballet Diva.
You could say the same thing about its high time. This is from the Jose Pinchin barn, a very impressive 7 1/4 length winner in her debut. Chased the pace and finished to 3rd behind Ballet Diva in the Cassidy. Might be more of that again today.
Well, let's go to race number 6 today. 1 mile claim is 3 and up. Non-winners of 3 races in life or a race in 6 months. And we both have the number 6 Rome Burned on top of our ticket.
Going to make the turf to dirt move for trainer Michael Trombetta. He employs that strategy with a 20% success rate. In his previous 2 starts, he was second at both 1 mile and 1 mile and a 16th. Those were both in open company. I think he's the horse to beat against condition claimers today.
Yeah, I do too. And I threw the 2 Speed Trap in second. I just thought it was an obvious choice in there. Stalked 3 wide, finished second last time out, beating a length at the distance. Off that performance, thought it earned a spot on my ticket at least.
I think Zoombox deserves a spot on the ticket. He's going to make his first start off the claim for trainer Victor Barboza Jr. Throw out his last race when he veered in badly at the start. He was the winner 2 back.
Well, let's go to race number 7 today. 1 mile on the turf, maiden special weight to 2-year-olds. Here's one of those races again where they're stretching out around 2 turns on the grass for the first time, these youngsters. And we didn't make it easy. We got a full field of 10 runners in here. And this is where the Rainbow Six starts with that $200,000 jackpot guarantee. And we both have the number 10 on here, Mr. Cotto. I like this horse a little bit today.
I do too. This is a son of Scat Daddy. Showed a vast improvement when switching to the grass last time out. Made a late rally to get up for 3rd. That suggests he should really appreciate the extra distance today.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's bred to handle this distance and beyond in there. And once again, I thought it was a very hard race to handicap. And Katie and I have the same exacta because we both used the 7, Find a Way. Gelded Son of Sweet Return. The one earlier on for Wesley Ward is also a sweet return, so you can get some information off that one. Lasix today, Prentice John Cruz in the saddle. He's 20% Wesley Ward with his 2-year-old first-time starters on the turf.
Yeah, I think you just have to throw him in somewhere because of the barn. Again, like you mentioned, same exact pedigree, same exact connections, even the owner breeder. So let's see what happens in the earlier race. I threw in the 2 Get Schnell. This is a son of Silvertree, who's also the sire of Rizwan, and we know how well he's done on the turf. He's going to make his turf debut today. Like the pedigree, Jose Chavez is the trainer, and he also worked well over the Palmetto's turf course.
A little bit of a long shot you might want to throw on your Rainbow Six ticket. That's the one I'm ready to. I'm already there. It's hard to read it when it's all one word. Going to give the turf a try after making a 4-wide bid. Finished 4th. It was his 4.5 furlong debut. It was $50,000 maidens. It was on a wet track. Michael Yates pretty sharp with horses doing this 2-year-olds, first time on the turf, about 13%. So if you're looking for a little bit of a long shot in there, it depends how deep you want to go in race number 7, the first leg of the Rainbow Six. We're going to race number 8 now, and this is where the pick 5 starts. 7 furlongs. This is something new this year. We have Sire Stakes for horses that are Sire Stakes eligible at running at 3-year-olds. A really nice $150,000 pot for them, and we have 8 runners in this race. 7 furlongs. Fillies, 3-year-olds. It's called the 3 Ring. Both of us have a horse that I really like today, and that is the 3 Dogwood Trail. Let's go back and look at its last performance.
Yes, very impressive. This is from the Grade 3 Azalea on the Summit of Speed card. Dogwood Trail leads them all the way. Going to get challenged and receive pressure from a very talented filly in Huasca, but she was just too brilliant and going to put her away. She's looking for a second straight victory today. The Azalea was also at 7 furlongs and working exceptionally well. Went 58 flat on July 18th.
Well, I had to pick a single out in the Rainbow Six, and this was it. So I'm riding on there. And the horse I have in second and Katie has in third are Sassy Lass. Defeated Dogwood Trail in the sophomore fillies up at Tampa in April. Renews that rivalry today after finishing a distant 4th behind her here in the Tangelo Handicap on June 6th. Sally Mitchell-Hill is the trainer. Eddie Castro, inside post today. If there's a horse I think that might have a chance to upset the 3 Dogwood Trail, in my estimation, is the 1. But you put the number 7, Moment of Delight, in second.
A really troubled 6 in the Azalea, another from the Bill Kaplan barn. Prior to that race, she was a very impressive winner off a 3-month layoff over the Stakes Caliber Colt Classic. 4-time stakes place, and it's great to see her back in the Florida Sire Stakes Series again. She was second in 2 of the legs last year.
Yeah, I mean, she's a really nice horse. So one of the horses you might really want to give serious consideration to putting on your ticket. I also used the 6 Pursuing Fate, is stepping up, stretching out after drawing off. That was on a sealed, sloppy track to defeat $12,500 optional claimants at 5.5 furlongs. But here's the key. It's Mike Maker, and the rider is Tyler Gaffalione. Both of them having excellent years here in South Florida. So one of those horses on the line at, I believe, 6-1. So one of the horses you might want to throw in the 8th race. As we said earlier on, we warned you that the Rainbow Six sequence was not a very easy affair. You might single a horse like that in the last race, but these rest of these races are pretty tough. The 9th race, this is another Florida Sire Stakes for 3-year-olds. Colton Geldings, $150,000. This is the unbridled. Scratch the inside horse, number 1, Sparky B. A horse that I did not use, but you did, Katie, on your ticket in here, is Saraguro.
This is my top selection, Saraguaro. I really think he's going to take another step forward today based off the way he ran last time out. Now, this wasn't the most competitive field, but the way he won was very impressive. Coming off a 5-month layoff, he just takes command here at the 3/8 pole, draws off very easy, and never looks back. This is a horse that has run against very nice horses. It may have taken him a little while to break his maiden, but he was running against Danzig Moon, the runner-up in the Bluegrass, 5th in the Kentucky Derby, you know, and also has really improved with blinkers for trainer Sappy Joseph Jr. But you went another way with a horse that I did not use, 9-2. That's Wicked Rascal here. We'll just watch the end of this clip. Saraguaro, much the best that day.
Well, Wicked Rascal is a half-brother to Florida Sire Stakes, 2 Florida Sire Stakes superstars, one called Two T's at 2, and Scandalous Act, the latter sweeping the 3 divisions of the 2013 Sire Stakes, stretching out to 7 furlongs after returning from a 10-month layoff to defeat many of these that they're going to face today. That was going 6 furlongs on the sealed, sloppy track. Kathleen O'Connell, you're talking about people that know how to win these Sire Stakes races. Kathleen is certainly one of them. This one bred up and down to succeed in this Sire Stakes series, so I put the number 10, Wicked Rascal, right on top of my ticket. I have the number 7, Sinks Praises, in second. Won the Dr. Fager and the Inter-Alley division of the Sire Stakes last summer.
Yeah, man, this is a cool horse. He was much the best last year in the Florida Sire Stakes Series. Excited to see him back. He should be much better in his second start back from that long layoff.
Well, keeping with the Stanley Gold theme, you also have the number 3, Southern Barbecue, on your ticket.
I really like this horse. He enters this race off a pretty solid 4th. He finished behind Grand Billy, Barbados, and Wanambina in the carry back. Prior to that, he was 3rd behind Requite, who was just second in the Grade 2 Amsterdam up at the Spa, and Graham Billy in the Big Cypress. When he didn't have to deal with those kind of horses 3 starts back, he won off a 7-month layoff. I think he's a sleeper.
Well, you know, the 9th race, again, we have some differences of opinions in there, but that's what I was saying, wide open race. Now, in my modest estimation, the 10th race was the hardest race on the card, the handicap for me. 1 mile on the turf, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds, and up $75,000. The Soaring Softly, scratch the 7, Wild About Jazz, scratch the 13 and 14, and note the jock on the 11 is Pedro Monterey Jr. I have the number 8, Latique, on top of my ticket, and I'll tell you, I don't know what Latique is on the board, 10 to 1 on the morning line.
Excellent.
You look at this horse, 4 starts here at Gulfstream, a win and 2/3, is making her local return, the first start since rallying to finish a game second. That was in the $52,000 just a game at Delaware on June 10th. Graham Motion, Tyler Gaffalione in the saddle. I just like this horse today.
Well, Ron, this is something that does not happen a lot. We do not have a single horse in common here in this race. That's how difficult it is. I went with the 3 Lemon Point, who really impressed me when running a strong second on the dirt in the Monroe Handicap last time out. That's not her preferred surface, and she finished behind a Grade 1 caliber filly in Kiss to Remember. 2 starts back, she was 3rd in the Spook Express at 1 mile and a 16th, was only beaten a length and a half. Trainer Phil Gleave said that was a bit of a reach for her. I think cutting back to 1 mile today going to be her best distance.
Well, you didn't use the 5, Nina Del Cielo, in here.
Ninfa del Cielo is the Venezuelan champion, making her first start here in North America. It's also her turf debut, but she is bred for it. She's out of a Dynaformer mare.
Yeah, she's really bred on both sides. And just to note that a lot of people, when you got the early cuts, said this was first-time Lasix. It's not on this horse. This horse has used Lasix throughout its career in Venezuela. Won the Venezuelan Philly Triple Crown last year.
Yes.
So really nice horse. Just some of the horses in that race. Let's go to race number 11. This is the second of the Florida Sire Stakes for 2-year-olds, $200,000. The Dr. Fager, 9 runners in here. And let's go back and look at the horse you have right on top of your ticket. And I'm liking this from Katie at 8 to 1, I believe, on the morning line. Brighton Lane.
Well, he is certainly, we talked about Florida Sire Stakes pedigrees. Here we go, Brighton Lane. He is a full brother to Southern Barbecue and Jackson Bend,
Right.
a multiple Grade 1 winner who swept the Florida Sire Stakes Series as a 2-year-old. Take a look at Brighton Lane. It looks like he's done here in his career debut. Did not like being down on the inside, showed a little bit of greenness and inexperience, but he's going to come on. Take a look at him angle out, and here's a horse on top. Wild Pussycat from the Wesley Ward barn, who came back to be a dominant winner next time out. Wesley Ward thinks very highly of him. Well, Brighton Lane is going to run him down, and I think he might be a sleeper in this race. Stanley Gold has another in here, Fellowship, but I gave the edge to Brighton Lane. But Ron, in full Italian fashion, you gave the edge to Little Meatball.
I had to go with Little Meatball in here, stretching out to 3/4 of a mile today. I was so impressed with this horse's 4.5 furlong career debut, in which he set swift early fractions in the race, but then he draws off and he wins it by 9 widening lengths. He'll certainly be tested for class today, like a lot of these horses in here, but I was just going with the number 7, Little Meatball. I am shocked that he's the second choice on the morning line. I thought he was going to be my sneaky of the day and be a bit of a price. You mentioned the 8 Fellowship in here, also from Stanley Gold. I believe on paper this is the one to beat.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's already stakes place, second in the Bird on the Wire, behind, a horse that was on the lead and on a track that was very speed favoring. So I think, he's another good horse in here.
Well, there's another horse I just want to mention real quick, and that is the 4 Graphite Strike. Is going to face winners after finishing second. It's coming out of a key 5 furlong maiden special weight event that has produced a trio of next out winners, including a repeat winner called Bullets Gone Astray, who went up and won the Mountaineer Juvenile. So one of those
dominantly.
Yeah, one of those key race horses that you might want to put in there. And like Katie's, also 8 to 1 on the morning line. We're going to wrap up what is going to be one fantastic day of racing with 1 mile and a 16th on the turf. Allowance optional claim at 3 and up, $25,000. Scratch the number 13 in here, and the jockey on the number 10 is Emicial Jaramillo. I hope I got that right, but I think I did. I've been practicing for a couple of days. I went with the 3 Ringold, stretching out to 1 mile and a 16th. closed last time from 13 lengths off the pace to finish a strong third against this level of competition going a mile. The trainer is Fernando Abreu, the Chiefs' former assistant, Eddie Castro, handling that stretch out.
Hopefully he'll be lying a bit closer today. I have him on the ticket as well. I went with Steel and Pack. Going to make his first start off the claim for trainer George Navarro. He got boxed in the stretch last time out. Finished fourth in a $50,000 claimer, but was only beaten a length and a half. Hopefully you can get a cleaner trip today.
Well, these are some exciting races to handicap today. I'm telling you, this is a card where if you're right, you can make some big bucks today, because there is 4 or 5 horses in those sequences, especially the later on stakes, that could absolutely win the race, and you can get odds of 8 or 10 to 1. It should be a really, really fun day for handicappers and for people alike.
Yeah, this is a day where you could see that Rainbow Six jackpot go down $200,000 to match the purses of the 2-year-old Sire Stakes races.
Well, good luck, everybody.